Students huddled in fear, using overturned tables as a makeshift barricade to block a second-floor door in the library. Another student, Jason Durfus, credited a backpack filled with books for blocking one of the gunman's bullets and saving his life. He says he was just feet away from the shooter, and only later did he realize how close he came to getting shot.
2 of the books that I had checked out had a bullet hole in them. I know God's looking out for me, and there's really no other explanation for it.
Sarah Evans was around the corner from one shooting near the library's first-floor entrance. She captured video of Nathan Scott shot in the leg and heard him scream.
There's a gun in the library, and I've been shot. And at this point is when the library heard this and just went crazy.
Hundreds of students are gathered out here right now. You can see they're all getting ready for this vigil about to start. I've seen students hugging one another, comforting one another.
I was scared for my life, and I was scared that it ends like here in my freshman year of college.
This is video Daniel Morales took on his cell phone of students sequestered. Other shaky video shows students huddled together listening to police.
If anybody has a victim, if anybody has been shot, call 911 on your cell phone.
For the gunman, he's identified as Myron May. He graduated from Florida State in 2005 and just moved back to Florida earlier this month. Authorities say his life was in a state of crisis and that he had written journals and produced videos in which he expressed fears of being targeted. Police say they do not know why he chose this particular time to act. We want to get to Carson Chambers. She's live on campus with the latest on the investigation in today's shooting. Carson.
Brendan, key pieces of information about this investigation coming out of the Tallahassee Police Department. It gives us a better look at why May have carried out this attack, and also a better timeline, a clearer timeline of how the shooting unfolded. Now, we do know that more than 30 rounds were fired. That includes the suspect and also the police officers that he engaged. We know that they confronted him outside of the library. Lead investigators say May parked a few blocks away, walked to the library with a .380 semi-automatic handgun, his pockets filled with ammunition. They say May started shooting outside. He hit 2 FSU students, then reloaded his gun before entering the lobby. Investigators say at that point he shot 1 FSU staff member inside and attempted to shoot another. Now, they have interviewed dozens of witnesses who saw this all unfold. He never made it past the lobby. Thank goodness he went back outside. That is where 6 police officers, 5 FSU police officers, 1 Tallahassee, confronted him. They say he would not drop his weapon, and they shot and killed him. They have served a search warrant on his car and recovered evidence that may give us a better idea of his state of mind.
Mr. May had a written journal and videos where he expressed fears of being targeted, and that he wanted to bring attention to this issue of targeting.
We just got our hands on a police incident report involving May and a woman claiming to be his ex-girlfriend of more than a year. Within that report, clues into May's state of mind in the weeks just before today's shooting. Our Ashley Glass has been poring over the pages. She joins us live now in the studio. Ashley.
And Linda, good evening to you. It's detailed here in this report. Happened just last month in Las Cruces, New Mexico. The report lays out May's alleged bizarre behavior October 7th. Police say they were called to a woman's house. A woman claiming to be May's ex of 15 months. She told police that May had just showed up unannounced at her home. He'd recently developed a severe mental disorder, was diagnosed with ADHD, and had been using prescription meds.
Our Jacqueline Inglace gaining exclusive access tonight into the cottage he was living in right before he went to Florida State. Our Jacqueline joins us now with what she found.
Friends say he was having financial trouble, and up until the shooting, May lived in this guest house here at the Hitchcock home of nationally renowned charity worker David Totten and his wife Abigail. He moved here just 3 weeks ago. Inside, there were still boxes, the bedroom in disarray, and a pill bottle half full of hydroxyzine, a drug commonly used to treat anxiety and nervousness.
The heart-stopping minutes during that shooting playing out across the state today. People with loved ones on campus just waiting and hoping to hear the best. Our Chris Trankman spoke with 2 Bay Area families who have kids at Florida State. And Chris, this had to be a nerve-wracking situation for them.
Absolutely, Jameson. On a weeknight where 300 students were gathered to study in a place where it's normally quiet and safe, for the 2 parents I talked to making contact with their kids today couldn't have come fast enough.
Man, my knees got so weak, I thought, this is not happening, you know? It just sickened me.
Irene Taylor's son is a senior at Florida State studying business. She frantically tried getting a hold of the 22-year-old after the shootings.
I'm blowing his phone up. I'm sending texts. Where are you?
Surprise deliveries. We're uncovering new details tonight about mysterious packages sent out by a gunman before opening fire on students at FSU.
Tonight, students standing united as the shooter's uncle speaks exclusively to ABC Action News.
He wasn't a monster.
Only ABC Action News is taking you inside the shooter's home, revealing new clues that could help explain what would drive him to want to kill.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Wendy Ryan.
And I'm Jamison Euler. We're getting new exclusive developments just into the newsroom from our team of reporters in Tallahassee tonight. Let's get right to it. Right now, police alerting friends of Myron May that he sent out 8 packages through the mail before shooting 3 people at the FSU campus library early this morning. Investigators are still unclear about what's inside those packages and are asking those 8 people to call them as soon as they're delivered.
And just minutes ago, police releasing this picture of one of the victims. Grad student Nathan Scott works at the library and was wounded in the leg when that shooting started. Police telling us he's one of 2 students shot at the Strozier Library who remain in the hospital at this hour. The 3rd victim was grazed in the leg and immediately released on scene. And we have live team coverage tonight. Our Jacqueline and Glace just speaking exclusively with Myron May's uncle a short time ago about his state of mind days before the shooting.
But first, we begin with Carson Chambers on the campus at FSU tonight, where students just wrapped up a vigil moments ago. Carson?
And students found comfort in a small auditorium just steps away from where we are outside the FSU library tonight. It was a vigil where they prayed for understanding.
I just pray that you would just overwhelm those just struggling right now with peace, God.
If there is such a thing as the sound of healing, it might have been the low hum of voices in an FSU auditorium. Or maybe healing doesn't make a sound at all. Prayer, quiet or spoken.
And I just want to thank you for all the lives that were spared.
Tonight, the family of the gunman, Myron May, now revealing new insight about him, saying there was no indication he was planning something so tragic. Our Jacqueline and Glace joins us live in Tallahassee with that exclusive interview tonight. Jacqueline?
Almost 24 hours ago, just beyond this crime scene tape, here on the steps of this library, Myron May took his last breaths, and tonight his uncle is opening up about the Thanksgiving plans they had. But instead of coming together for dinner next week, May's family will be coming together for a very different reason: his funeral.
He was going to get together with me and cook Thanksgiving dinner.
Preparing Thanksgiving dinner with his nephew Myron Mays is a memory Wallace Freeman won't be making. Instead, he's planning the 31-year-old's burial.
His mother's birthday was yesterday, so I know it's a heartbreaker to her.
Freeman last saw his nephew on Saturday. He spent the night before returning to this guest house family friends were letting him live in 6 miles away in Weewahitchka. He would leave the very next day to visit friends at FSU.
It's a shock because he was quiet.
May moved back to the Florida Panhandle just 3 weeks ago after living in Houston and New Mexico, where trouble found the lawyer just last month.
He saw a guy with a gun at his apartment.
Then there was this, a police report filed with the Las Cruces Police Department by his ex-girlfriend, claiming May was harassing her and recently developed a severe mental disorder, believing police were bugging his home and even putting cameras in his car. When ABC Action News gained exclusive access to May's cottage, we found this, a half-full bottle of hydroxyzine, a drug commonly used to treat anxiety and nervousness.
He wasn't a monster. He was nice, sweet young man.
His friends told us he was also having financial issues. Here he is on a camping trip earlier this month studying for the Florida bar. Now tonight, while his family is thankful May did not kill anyone, they're struggling to answer why he opened fire and wounded 3 innocent people at his alma mater.
We don't know what went down, but we're in shock because he was no kind of person like that.
May's mother is back in Ohio tonight, where he spent the majority of his childhood. He moved here to Florida at the age of 12 and was raised by his grandmother. This will be the 7th family funeral for May's family this year. Live tonight in Tallahassee, Jacqueline Inglese.